Oh, well, hello, my wonderful, beautiful brothers and brothers of the Maverick Nation. I'm the Dark Shadow Maverick, and seeing as we just got rid of that marathon feature, I've decided I'm going to do a little bit something before we jump on the bandwagon again. Yes, after I get rid of this big ol' hole in my channel. Big ol' hole. Basically, after I get rid of the big ol' hole, we're gonna be jumping on the bandwagon again. Why? Because I freaking adore the story I came up with, for Izuku having the current symbiote. That what if. I freaking adore that story. And I hope, just like the what if Izuku had basically, wait, not if Izuku had. Like, what if Izuku was the reincarnation of Ukiura? I hope it gets, like, that amount of popular. So basically, the hole that I'm trying to fill here before we jump onto the bandwagon again this hole is basically part 3 of what if Izuku slash Naruto was Dragon Ball Z Broly instead of Super Broly. Yes, part 3 of that. Part, I don't know, like 3 of what if I was an MHA. And part 2 of what if Izuku was like a super channeler. And part like 4 of the Z Broly thing. So yeah, that. And then we jump back onto the bandwagon of a story that I have really, really grown to love. Like the hell out of. So basically, it basically means this first video here is going to be part 2. I mean, not part 2. Shit. Bless me. Nice. Basically, part 3 of what if Izuku slash Naruto was Z Broly. And seeing as I said, all the odd numbered parts are going to be Izuku's storyline, and all the even numbered parts are going to be Naruto's storyline. Part 3, we resume where we left off with Izuku, and that is basically after the entrance exam. And so, basically, Izuku probably knowing that he probably already, got in. Now he's just waiting for the day to come, the actual first day of UA. One of the many nectars of the gods is Mountain Dew. Do the do. I be doing the do, everybody. Anyways, basically, Izuku will get the acceptance letter, so he would already know. Basically, even before he got the acceptance letter, that he would already know, because how could he not get an UA after that? So, yeah. Basically, it's the first day. Izuku comes in. Everything happens, you know, like how it would in the original story, with Bakugo and Ida arguing. However, whenever Bakugo notices that Izuku basically, came in, the Bakugo would be like, "Hey Izuku, where were you?" And Izuku's just like, trying to prepare myself to keep calm, so I don't do that thing again. That would spell all sorts of bad news bears for this place. And Bakugo's like, "Oh yeah, now I understand. Good job, Izuku." And Izuku would be like, "Thanks, Kachan." And, well, basically, Aizawa would be like, "Took you guys, or whatever, 8 minutes to shut the hell up. It's way too damn long for me. Get these uniforms, get into the locker rooms, and put these things on, and meet me at the training field. And if you take too long, you're going to be expelled. It's my class, I do what I want." And Izuku's like, "Well, this guy's very straightforward. Wait, this guy reminds me of somebody. Hey, Bakugo, our hero is the teacher eraser. Like, Bakugo, our teacher is the hero Eraserhead." And Bakugo's like, "Holy shit, you're right, Izuku. He is the hero Eraserhead. It's just kind of hard to recognize him because of how much of an underground hero he is." And Izuku's like, "Yeah, you're right. That's why it was hard for me to recognize him at first, too." And it's safe to say that even though Izuku is doing very well at suppressing his power, because, after all the training he's been doing, he's been training to suppress his power until, he actually needs to use it. So he only uses a certain amount of his power for each task. Even though he's suppressing his power, he's still, master classes the entire thing. He doesn't want to show off too much, but at the same time, he doesn't want to, slug behind, bottom of the barrel because of what Aizawa said. Not only if they're late will they be expelled, but whoever's, at the bottom score, the bottom of the scoreboard, they'll be expelled. And Izuku doesn't want that, so he decided that even though he's going to suppress his power, he's not going to suppress it too much to where he can't win these different, test things. And, Bakugo seeing this, he's like, "Damn, Izuku, even whenever he's suppressing his power, he's still strong as hell." And, well, That's whenever shit would get real. Just how real and why would it get real? Well, there would be the sound of a crash sound so loud that it caused the ground to vibrate off in the distance. And this actually kind of concerns Aizawa because he's like, what the hell? And so he actually goes over to check it out, and he's like, all of you stay over here. Like, I'll get All Might to, like, check up on you, make sure you don't mess up or whatever. I gotta check up on this. So Aizawa just gets All Might to look after all of Class 1A, and just goes over to check the thing out by himself, but he soon regrets this choice whenever he realizes what's actually going on. Or, well, the person who came out of the pod that just landed tells him. He is a descendant of the Saiyan known as Yamoshi. He is also named Yamoshi. And, well, that, he has no need for pleasantries. He's just going to get straight to the point. And Aizawa not really understanding what he means. Well, this Yamoshi Jr. person basically would kick Aizawa's ass. And fly straight towards the students and All Might. Basically, seeing as the moon isn't out, and Yamoshi doesn't feel like flying all the way into the Earth's atmosphere to find the moon, he just does what Vegeta did whenever he realized that the moon was destroyed, not actually knowing that it was destroyed by Piccolo. You know, whenever Gohan decided to turn Great Ape, and Yamoshi basically does that. Basically just has it in his hand, throws it up in the air, and it's like, split and mix! And then basically, there's like a big flash of light, and all of a sudden, Great Ape Yamoshi Jr. And, well, you would just see this giant Great Ape Yamoshi Jr. and be headed towards the students. And Aizawa would have had the crap kicked out of him, so he wouldn't be able to do anything to help. And All Might would be like, where the hell is Aizawa? And Izuku would be like, I think now I finally get to no longer hold back. And Kirishima would be like, wait, you were holding back? And Izuku's like, yes, indeed, I was holding back. Now, who are you? Just points over to Great Ape Yamoshi Jr. And basically, he basically says everything that he said to Aizawa. You know, the gist of that. And Izuku's just like, he doesn't even know who the hell this Yamoshi person is. So, he technically does not care. And Bakugo, well, he does care. And he's trying to keep Izuku from doing something stupid. Because he knows that Izuku's strong, but this person, they are ridiculously strong. And so he doesn't know if Izuku will be able to do it or not. And, you know, this Great Ape Yamoshi Jr. person would just send a mouth blast straight towards Bakugo because he would be getting annoyed at Bakugo, trying to delay their fight because of how some Saiyans, you know, how Saiyans like to fight. And, you know, Bakugo is delaying their fight. Yamoshi and any of Yamoshi's offspring, they'd be like the pinnacle Saiyan. So, obviously, they'd have the pinnacle lust for battle. And seeing as Bakugo was delaying the fight, that would obviously piss this Yamoshi Jr. guy off. And so he would just go for a great head mouth blast. However, an Omega Blaster would be charged. And Bakugo would see this and he'd be like, holy shit. And the Omega Blaster would be fired at the mouth beam, and this would smack the Yamoshi Jr. guy straight in the face, and he would fall on his back. And, Izuku would actually, speed all the way over there behind this Yamoshi Jr. dude and grab onto his tail and, send a surge of electricity through it. And the surge would, charcoal the tail until, the Yamoshi Jr. guy wouldn't have it anymore. He would have lost his tail completely. Izuku would have just charcoaled it with his own ki. And he's not even in, full legendary Super Saiyan mode yet. He is just, on the cusp of regular Super Saiyan. He hasn't actually gone full legendary Super Saiyan. And Bakugo realized this, and even though he's not legendary Super Saiyan, he's still this strong. Bakugo's like, I doubted Izuku for nothing. All that for nothing. Can't believe how much Izuku's improved. Or was he always this strong? And Izuku would just be like, You say you are the son of Yamoshi. I don't see it. If Yamoshi is supposed to be the progenitor of all Saiyans, then he should be strong enough to withstand the power of my attacks. You are weak. How can you be one of his spawn if you are weak? So weak that you would lose so easily. And then the Yamoshi Jr. guy would just say, that's just the thing. You assume too much. I haven't lost it all. And then he would just power up to Super Saiyan. But this Super Saiyan would look different. It would actually be like a buffed version of Super Saiyan. And Izuku would look like he would cock his head a little, be like, what? And then he would reveal, the Yamoshi Jr. guy would reveal that this is Super Saiyan God. Now bow. And, all of a sudden the tide of the battle would have turned, just enough, just a little bit. That is until all of a sudden, smack! Right across the face. Actually causing the Yamoshi Jr. guy's nose to bleed. And it actually starting to look like his face was indeed cracking open. And Yamoshi Jr. guy would just be like, ugh, what the was that? And, well, Izuku's like, it doesn't matter if I can't sense your ki or not. I still have maximum power. I'm still maximum. And all of a sudden, yellow and green light would just dazzle out, like a current shifting and swerving around Izuku's body, and then finally engulfing it like some sort of uncanny flame. And that's when Izuku would finally have truly actually started to use his quirk, he would become a legendary Super Saiyan. You say you are a Super Saiyan God. What is a god to an unbeliever? What is a god to a devil? Die! And then the Yamoshi Jr. guy would just dodge and be like, what is a god to a non-believer? What is a god to a devil? I'll show you. And that's whenever the Yamoshi Jr. guy would turn blue and just start to duke it out with Izuku. But they would seem to be, pretty on par with each other. Pretty even. That is until, the Yamoshi Jr. guy would just go and be like, this is it. I've had enough. Now you die here. Just like sending a flurry of blasts the size of meteors straight towards Izuku. But this would prove to be his downfall, as Izuku would just simply smirk at this, and it'll be like, what a fool. Now, we have some fun. Super Omega Blaster. And he would just shoot the Omega Blaster. It would connect with the blast that the Yamoshi Jr. guy was shooting. But the Super Omega Blaster, true to its name, just more Omega Blasters would be shot into the already Omega Blaster. And it would start to overwhelm the Yamoshi Jr. guy, even though he was in, Super Saiyan Blue form. But it wasn't, mastered blue. So, you'd just be, engulfed in the Omega Blaster, like Super Omega Blaster. And, you just hear, yes, Izuku's power is maximum. So as you can clearly see, Izuku has fully embraced the unbridled power of the legendary Super Saiyan. And in doing this, has basically skyrocketed beyond even the power of Super Saiyan Blue. And Super Saiyan Blue, nonetheless, from an original offspring of Yamoshi, the original Saiyan. So, is he like the original Saiyan from Universe 7? Or is he like the original Saiyan from Universe 6, like Sadala? And not Planet Vegeta, Planet Sadala. Because that's what the Universe 6 Saiyans called their planet, Sadala. Or is he like the original Saiyan from both? I don't even know if that could be possible, but knowing Dragon Ball lore, probably is possible, but, in a very weird way. Knowing Dragon Ball lore. As much about it as I do. And so, yeah, that would happen. And well, Aizawa would just finally gotten there, and All Might would be like, Aizawa, what took you so long to get here? I mean, what the hell? Literally, one of your students just kicked the crap out of that weird alien dude who called himself the spawn of some Yamoshi guy, and then just started not only becoming a giant monkey, but then hair red and then hair blue, some weird shit, and whenever his hair was red, he was skinnier somehow, what the shit? and like couldn't even sense anything from him whenever he was like going red form. Like, this is some crazy shit. Like, I saw, literally, what were you doing? Like, were you, like, playing Angry Birds on your freaking iPhone or some shit? And Aizawa would just be like, All Might, I don't have the time for your bullshit. I am hurting in literally every spot of my body. Every spot hurts like hell. So, enough of your bullshit, shut the hell up, and just let me go to Recovery Girl. And Almight's like, no, I am not going to shut up. And as I was like, I will erase your quirk. And Almight's like, yeah, as long as you're looking at me. Which you don't seem to be able to look all that much at anybody with the way your eyes are. And as I was like, that's the point. How am I supposed to be able to properly teach these children if I can't even use my own quirk properly? Freaking All Might. Yes, as you can clearly see, neither of them like each other all that much. And I thought it was just really, like, pissed off that All Might is, like, you know, getting angry at him for having his ass handed to him. Like, he got his ass handed to him, and now All Might's bitching at him. Like, and so Aizawa is just like, screw you, All Might. Get the f out of my way, or else I will find a way to bury you. And I will get the shovel. Even if it has to be a golden one, triple freaking H style. All Might. No. Toshinori Yagi. And like All Might's just like, holy freaking shit. Okay, I'm out of your way. You can go to Recovery Girl. Jesus Christ. So yeah, Aizawa, if you cannot tell, is royally pissed. If you cannot already tell. And concerning All Might and anything about him, you know, All Might, in terms of considering like a successor to his quirk, he is definitely not going to choose Izuku because he saw that shit and he's like, not only does he probably not need my quirk, but, you know, if I did give it to him, it probably would just make things worse. Like, considering the, like, fits of madness that are going on now, of, like, and, you know, All Might's actually surprised because, you know, people that were talking, like, earlier in the class about Bakugo's behavior, you know, betrayed him as, like, someone who was prone to anger. However, he seems to be doing everything in his power to calm Izuku down. So, All Might isn't really understanding. Like, is, like, the fits of rage thing just like a overprotectiveness? All Might isn't really getting it. So, yeah, I'm just gonna say that's the way the day ends. Yeah. And I'm also gonna say this is where the video ends because even though I did like the topic and I still do, I find it hard sometimes to supply myself with, you know, a plot for my videos. And even the plots that I do end up coming with, like, if I'm thinking about the plot while I'm making the video, if it's like one of those days where that happens, like, sometimes I'm just not in it. So I hope you guys can understand why this video might be a little bit shorter than others. So, yeah. I don't see any justice because the Dark Shaman because always you out of here. Your boys, like, favorite, subscribe, click a little bell. Bounce, Quidditch. Eat, and all the eat. This freaking direction. That never gets old, though. So, bye.